Welcome to the stage of history. It's on and popping, y'all. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. And again, this is the Mindset Matters channel. So if you like mindset topics, make sure you like and subscribe because that is all I get into is stuff that talks about your mindset, what your mind is set on. Because what your mind is set on is the direction that your life is going to go. All right. And so that small introduction, I want to go ahead and let y'all know that the topic for today is love others like you love yourself. But there's a twist. Plot twist. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, the plot twist is, do you love yourself? That's the plot twist. How you gonna love others like you love yourself if you don't love yourself? How does that even work? That's something that you have to think about every single day. The reason why I came up with love others like you love yourself in the first place is from a scripture that I read. I try to make sure that I read a scripture every single day, at least one, right? I know how I am with reading and stuff like that. And I was like, look, I'll commit to at least one scripture, then go from there. That's how you want to start your habits off as well. Do the bare minimum, get the traction going with the bare minimum, get that habit loop going with the bare minimum, and then stack on top of that and then let it compound after that. Because if you start off with, yo, I'm gonna read a whole chapter a day, and you really don't like reading, probably not gonna work. That's just for real. That's just the reality of it. Me specifically, I already know. I'm like, look, man, I don't enjoy the whole process of reading. And so with that, knowing that I must read to enhance myself, I'm like, okay, how can we do this? Again, I always piggyback off of Atomic Habits. You look at Atomic Habits, y'all, he tell you break it down to 1%. If you can improve 1% every day by the end of the year, you would have improved 365% upon yourself. That's super important to understand, man. And it helped me a lot because I'm one of those people that was like, I don't like throwing the entire kitchen at everything. I don't like trying to take on every single thing. That actually overwhelms me. That actually puts me in a state of depression, because it's like if you feel like there's so much that you have to do that you end up paralyzing yourself, right? And so that's what we don't want to get into. We want to make sure that we can build upon these small incremental changes, work on being consistent with that, and then once you feel like, okay, no, I got a good handle on this, then expound upon that, right? But anyway, I got it out of what I was in Leviticus. I was in Leviticus today. It's like chapter 19 or something like that in the Bible. And that's what it says. That's what God tells us to do. Love others like you love yourself. And so you got to think like, oh, okay, wait a minute. What if I don't love myself though? Really sit with that. How do you feel about your own self? Really, really think about that for real. Because if you don't love yourself, how in the world are you going to love somebody else like you love yourself? In fact, you may not be loving others like you love yourself. You may be treating them like you treat yourself, which is not a good thing. And that's what we want to focus on. How do we improve this process? How do we listen? How do we really dive deeper into what these things are telling us to do? It's like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Love others like you love yourself. That is a direct command from God. And it's like, okay, but how do I feel about myself? That's why self-love is so important. And why it has gotten mixed and screwed throughout the generations. Is like we playing telephone, right? You playing telephone and you get the wrong message, right? Somebody writing something on your back and you try and trace it, and then you're like, wait, that was not, no, that wasn't what I was saying. So if you dive into yourself and really analyze yourself and be honest with yourself and be like, man, I don't like the person who I am today. That is the first thing you need to work on. You have to. Otherwise, there's no way possible you're going to be able to love others. You see how that makes sense? You gotta be like, okay, if you can't get to a space where you're like, I really love myself, man. I really like who I am. I really love this person, the body, the mind, the way I think, everything. If you don't really enjoy that, y'all, you have to really think about it. How in the world can I do that for somebody else? It simply doesn't make sense. It's illogical. And that's what I wanted to draw your attention to today, is to really deeply think about that, man. How do you feel about yourself? What are steps to improve the way you feel about yourself? Well, here's a couple things, and I'm mentioning these, and I'm going to keep mentioning them over and over and over again. Writing down positive things about yourself, being grateful for things that are happening in your life, things that you have, things that you've even accomplished, things that you've, even if it's a small gesture that you did, you smiled at somebody and they smiled back. You have no idea that on an energetic level, you are helping progress the future. But just by doing that, and yes, sometimes what? You get the grumpy person, they may not reciprocate. They like, oh, whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because that's gonna happen. There's gonna be different stages that people are in, and I'm sure you've done that before yourself. You probably did that before yourself. Like somebody was like, "Hey, how's it going?" You like, "I ain't got time for it today," right? That's fine. However, recognizing at some point, sometimes you think back and you be like, "Man, I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad there's people in the world like that. I'm glad there was somebody that was willing to be like, hey, cheer up. It's gonna be all right." That's the key. That's the key to understanding your purpose in this life. You're one of the ones that feel like doing that. That is part of your purpose. And it is for you to grab onto that, to identify it, to be like, yep, I'm a superhero. I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to share light. I'm going to share positivity. I'm going to share love. That's who I am. That's what I do. And you need to really grab onto it and grab your identification through that and be like, that is who I am. That's what I'm here to do. And once you fully understand that, it helps you to be like, okay, no, this is my purpose. It's not for you to be like, oh, I'm giving out this light because I want light back to me. I want to share all these great things. I want to be this positive motivational person because I want it to come back to me. No, that's not what this is about. It's about understanding who you are. It's about really, really getting deep with who you are as a person and being solid on that and being like, no, this is what I said I was going to do. This is who I am in life. This is how I'm deciding to show up. This is part of my purpose. That is what changes the game for you. That is what changes the game for you. Why? Because we all want to identify with something. We all want to identify with something, whether it be the sports team, whether it be your job, whether it be just all different type of stuff. There's all different type of things that you can identify with. I'm a carpenter, I'm a policeman, all of this stuff. We have all of these different identifiers. That is one you should be solid in and really grab onto and be like, no, I'm somebody who shares positivity. I'm a positive person. I'm a person who decides to be kind to people, even though sometimes I may not get it back. It's like, yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am. And yeah, even though sometimes, hey, I don't feel the greatest all the time, but I'm going to continue to come back to motivate people. That is who I am. That is what I do. That is why I'm here. That is part of my purpose. And when you can really grab into that, when you can really grab onto that, that helps you to feel more you, more powerfully you. That's what this is designed to do. When you can grab onto that and be like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. Right? Then it doesn't affect you so much when people are jerks or people don't reciprocate your light energy all the time. You don't let that stuff affect you because it's a part of loving others like you love yourself. And all you're doing in that process is showing them how much you love yourself. And so you're sharing that love with them. And if they're not ready to accept it right then and there, that's just what it is. It has nothing to do with you. You have no reason to grab onto that negative energy or that non-reciprocation and be upset about it. None of that. It's just you have no idea what's going on in somebody else's life. Again, we've probably done this before. We've probably been like, somebody's like, "Oh, yeah, have a great day," and you're like, "Whatever, dude." we've all done that before, right? It's like, I'm in a mood today. I'm not. That's okay. But later on, did that help that individual? Probably. You'll never know, especially if it's just a passerby. You'll never know. And that's the great thing about this. That's the great thing about grabbing it and identifying with it. Because if you just know, no, this is the type of person I am, then it doesn't matter if it comes back to you or not. It doesn't matter if you're looking for the karma or whatever they say. You reap what you sow, everything. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters is how am I showing up in life? How do I decide to present myself to this world, to this construct of reality we've decided to put up here? It's like, nope, I'm showing up like this no matter what. No matter what. And yes, will you go through dark days? Will you go through tough times? Will you have challenges? Absolutely. But if you say, yo, this is who I am, then roll with it. And keep sharing that love to other people like you love yourself, and you're happy with who you are, and you appreciate that you do bring that to life. It's very important. And once we can fully solidify ourselves into that, that's when you start to move in a different way. That's when you really start to powerfully plow through all of these challenges and negativities and difficulties. Is because you know this is a part of who I am. This is a part of my purpose. This is a part of what I'm supposed to do in life because I've decided that that's what I'm going to do no matter what. And so once you really think about that, y'all, you'll be able to love yourself. You'll be able to love yourself a little bit more and be like, you know what? I like that I'm that person. I like that I'm the one that comes and brings the light. I like that I'm the one that comes and shares kindness and positivity and great gestures, even though life just sometimes doesn't reciprocate that. That's okay. It's totally okay. All right. Wanting to identify with anything other than what's inside has everything to do with ego. The only identity we need is the identity of self and knowledge of the light within. Love it. Love it. Love it, man. Love that. I love that comment. That's a good one. That's a good one. I love who I'm becoming, but also I know that I need to work on self-love. Thank you for the reminders, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. This is what I've been thinking for so freaking long. The love you hold for you is the love you carry on the shoulders. Absolutely. You already know, Josiah. It's on and popping, man. This is what we signed up for. This is what we signed up for, bro. So unless you just want to just totally go dark, right? Because that's the alternative, dog. That's the alternative to this. It's like either I'm gonna be a person who's like gonna be the motivator, who's gonna get up and show up, who's gonna be like, you know what, let's do this, guys, and not care about how many people don't do it or if they doing it well or nothing. Like none of that even matters. It's like, am I showing up to bring that energy that I would like to see in the world? And if none of the outside world shows that, am I still going to show up that way? That's the kicker. That's what you really want to figure out. If nobody else cares that you're doing this stuff, that you're trying to motivate people, that you're trying to share light, positivity, kindness, if nobody else cares, will you still show up that way? That's when it really hits you hard. Like, okay, man, am I still going to continue this? Am I really going to continue to go in this direction, or skip it? Just go dark. Just go straight rogue, right? Because that's really the alternative. It's like, nope, skip everybody else. I'm in it for me. I'm in it for me, and I'm not even trying to think about others or think about positive things. It's like, what can I take from this world? That's the other mode that you would go into if you don't decide to go into a particular direction. So just think about that stuff, y'all. So just think about that stuff, y'all. Think about who you are. Think about how you identify, because loving others like you love yourself, you have to first think about, well, do I love myself? Do I love myself? Do I love how I show up? Do I love how I am as a person? Do I love my abilities, my physical structure? Do I love my spirit and what I bring to this planet and to life itself? Do I love that? Do I love that? And once you can think about that and really be solid in what that is, then you can truly know, instead of guessing and being like, I don't know, love others like you love yourself. I don't know. Some people hard to love. And that's true, they are. But if you continue to show up in the loving way that you decide to, then none of the extra stuff matters. None of the extra stuff will matter. So think about that stuff, y'all. I appreciate everybody that decided to be on here and check out the lives. Love you guys very much. Always remember that mindset matters more than anything else. What your mind is set on will dictate the way that your life is going to go. Okay. Focus on the good as much as possible, as much as you can. Focus on the great things that are happening in your life. Focus on the good possibilities of things that may occur in your life. Let go of worry, let go of doubt, let go of disbelief, let go of all of that stuff. Just focus on what could be possible for you. That'll change your entire dynamic. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic rest of the week. See you guys Tuesday. Anytime. Out.